Hello, YouTube fans. This is TheSkullKlown. If you guys haven't been paying attention to the whole Netflix and Paramount thing, I mean, who hasn't, right? I mean, if you've been paying it, I mean, I get it. If you're not paying attention to that type of stuff, I get it. In a spiritual enlightenment way, the reason this is happening is because it's all about survival of the fittest for these companies now. Just saying. Just saying. And people are afraid that we're gonna go to this almost like dystopia point, to the point that we're only gonna have one streaming service. And to be quite honest, guys, we kind of already have that already. If you watch if you go use the pirated streaming services, so that's, you know, the pirated streaming services are never going to go away, by the way. They're not going to, you know. And when people are concerned that there will be one streaming service, I get to the movie theaters soon. People are concerned that there will be one one streaming service that rules all of them, basically. And again, we kind of already have that with the pirated one, but the non-pirated ones, people are kind of afraid of that, right? But I pointed this out with the video game stuff, and Nintendo knows this, and Nintendo's afraid of that shit. But I already said this years ago, and that's why Nintendo is freaking scared that eventually all these corporations, these video game corporations, you will have to play their game in literally one umbrella. And trust me, all these other studios like Nintendo, they don't want that. But it's going to happen anyways, and it kind of already is happening regardless anyways. When you have like a Steam Deck or anything like your phone, you can play old freaking games. So it's already happening. This has been happening for such a long time, guys. It's just now pummeling to the point, you know? And yes, people are going to be, people are upset because Netflix wants to get rid of movie theaters, wants to get rid of cable. Me, I don't have cable, so I really don't give a shit about that. If you do, cool, that's fine. But the movie stuff, the movie theater stuff, I do care about movie theaters. I love going to movie theaters. I love the movie theater experience, you know? I love being with a crowd of people to watch stuff. A lot of my best memories for movies was going to the movie theater or hanging out with a big giant crowd of people and watching a movie. Sometimes we're quiet, you know, we don't talk as much in the movie. Other times we're loud, we're like, oh, you know, we're talking over the movie basically, but we're still paying attention to the movie, you know. We're quiet, we're understanding what's going on. We're like, oh my God, what's going to happen next, you know? So that's that movie experience right there. That's something that I do not want to go away, but what can you do if it does, you know? But that's why I mentioned too, don't be surprised if the indie scene comes in a little bit more, all right? Because if Saudi Arabia is going to buy the video game industry and the movie industry, then guess what? People like you and me are going to make our own shit on YouTube, basically. We'll have people that are already, this is already happening. Heck, it's already happening. People are making their own video games and their own movies and showing it on YouTube, basically. And I won't be surprised if anyone that shows off their video game that they worked hard on, you know, eventually it gets greenlight for the whole masses to play. Now that might not happen. Some people might have a prototype like I have with RPG Maker Fez and just show it off, and then some executive might see that and be like, I want that shit. I want that shit. Basically, I want that shit under my umbrella, you know? And yes, it's all hearsay, they say, and all that stuff, but at the same time, you guys, we got to think about some of this stuff, because you never know. Anything is possible, guys. Anything is possible. You know, and I do dislike when people think that would never happen, but people also said about the movie theater stuff that all movie theaters would never die. Remember that? But now look at it. Look at it right now. You know? And plus it's too expensive to go to the movie theaters. So something has to give. Either the movie theater market has to lower the price down so people can go to the movie theaters again, or these all Hollywood needs to put more movies out. And the thing is, it has to be both. You guys need to decrease the value of ticket prices, WWE, but I'll get to you in a minute. You guys need to lower your prices of food and your ticket prices. That way people can actually buy some shit instead of just a movie ticket and looking at your popcorn and they're like $30, $50 for a fucking popcorn? Are you stupid? And I don't get to refill it? Fuck you. It never used to be like that. Back in the day, back in my day, you get like a $20 a bag of popcorn for soda and you can refill the soda and the popcorn. Only for $20. If it was $15 or something like that, or $7 or $8, you wouldn't refill it. But everyone got their refill popcorn. Who wouldn't? You know? That's a steal. You know? But now it's not like that. Now $20 a popcorn, you can't fucking refill that shit. What the fuck is that crap? And then the candy that should be 50 cents or $1 is like $3 or $5. Are you high? Are you high? When I could go to a fucking drugstore and get a pack of M&Ms for literally $1. $1.05. You know? So, there's a lot of things that have happened here too. And then the thing is too, I want to point this out too. When the pandemic happened, and also when the shutdown happened, the government shutdown, when that happened, when those two things happened, one major fucking thing that had to happen, that didn't happen. And I've talked to people about this. People agreed with me. But yet, we still don't have people in the United States freaking screaming on top of their lungs about this shit because you guys want to freaking obey your fucking government. And it's fucking stupid as fuck. Alright? You guys say you want to take the man down, take the government down, but yet you don't speak up about this shit. When a pandemic happens or a government shutdown happens, prices are supposed to drop, not go higher. Okay? Look back in the Depression. You think prices went higher around the 30s? No, everything went lower. Everything went low. Everything went low. That's why no one didn't want to go back to the movie theaters because they didn't want to spend all that money. But then, they did. Because Hollywood, the people that make these products, were wanting people to go back to the movie theater because of the stuff that was happening during the Depression. You know? That's what movie stuff was supposed to be all about. Same thing with video games. You know? But now it's this whole thing of like, oh yeah, what will Trump say with Netflix and Paramount? It's like, who gives a shit? Fuck that motherfucker. He has other shit to pay attention to than think about streaming services. That's how you know he's a fucking joke. That's how you know all these politicians and presidents are a fucking joke, bro. And stop acting like, well, we just vote for another president. Maybe they won't do that. Suck my fucking fat dick, bitch. Seriously. Not realizing that these presidents and politicians are fucking muppets with a hand up their ass. Seriously. And some people are going to be like, oh, you make this political. They made it political. Why is Trump and all these other politicians talking about this other stuff with Paramount and Netflix? Because the people that are in Paramount are friends with Trump. It's like, when I found that out, it's like, oh, I want Paramount to go. You know, I just uploaded that video. And that video is kind of old. It's a few days old. And that's why I uploaded there when I found out that Paramount is fighting back. And I was like, okay, fine. Because I was not going to upload that video because I found out Netflix bought Warner Bros. I was upset. I was like, ah, fuck. That sucks, you know? I wasn't too upset, but I was like, fuck. I wish that didn't happen. But then you hear Paramount fighting back. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Go Paramount. But then you hear the stuff with them. They're friends with Trump, the people that own Paramount. I'm over here like, so fuck Paramount and fuck Netflix then. We don't even know what the fuck's going to happen here. And there's people too, and I'll play this clip. There's people out there too that are literally looking at Warner Bros. Stuff that came out in 2025 and they're like, why you guys are selling your shit? You guys were doing fine this year. You know? The COO of Warner Bros. Doesn't give a fuck about none of this shit. He didn't even care about Looney Tunes, for crying out loud. You know? So, all of this shit needs to be dead in the water, to be quite honest with you. Some people say this might take years for it to happen. And you know what? These companies don't have years. I'm saying that right now. Seriously. Have you paying attention to what the sun is doing? Watch videos from Mr. MB33. Alright, you thank me later. Seriously. And Dabu77. All right. I know in my enlightenment channel, I literally said, hey, I don't want my people to try to be like these white folks. No, even these white folks want to try to be us. But I hate when my people try to be these white folks. Stop that shit. Stop that shit. You will never be like them. All right? You will never be like them. Just like we will never be like them either. They will never be us and we will never be them. Get that straight in your fucking skull. My goodness. That's another conversation for another day, but it's true. I didn't know a white person could be black. I didn't know a white person could be fucking Afro-Hispanic. Stupid fucking concept. You know? Motherfucker, you don't have my blood. Get the fuck away from me. Shit. And then people want to call it racist and shit. No, it's reality. Your blood and skin is different from mine. And it's not even about skin color. It's literally about, yeah, I'm Afro-Hispanic and you're white. We're totally different here. You know? And again, it's not a race thing. It's literally accurate. Stop putting that race type of crap in it. You know? It makes no sense to put that crap in there. We all know we're not. It's funny that people will say we're all one, but yet, isn't that kind of hypocritical? Because we're all supposed to be different in also individual of a person. Why would we be all one? That means we're the same people and we're all robots, thinking the same thing as everybody else. We don't do that. See, we're not all one. So shut the fuck up. So going back to these companies, man. Going back to these companies. Seriously. Going back to these companies. These studio companies are just doing it just to make more money for their bank. We already know that. Look at the COO of Warner Brothers. I've been upset with him for quite a while, and so has other people. I don't have to talk shit about that man because I really don't care for that man. The COO of Warner Brothers right now can literally jump off a ditch. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, whoever buys Warner Brothers, Netflix, or Paramount, he's going to be rolling in dough anyways. All right? He's literally another Vince McMahon. All right? So, we already know we're about to get a streaming service that's just one. We already know that. And again, like I said, it's already happened. It's already happened. You know? Because if you go to the pirated scenes, it is already like that. Even though there's different websites anyways, but still, it's still all one, basically, of having these shows together. They might not have everything, but they have enough for people to still to come back to. You know? And also, keep your DVDs and movies and all that stuff. I know there's something on the internet that's saying that, hey, these DVDs and movies are decaying over time. And people want to buy them again and stuff like that. But guess what? Either the movie is either the companies of these movies don't want to put them out because they don't see the value in it, or two, they just don't care. All they care is about, you want that old black and white cartoons that you like watching all the time? No, I'm sorry. Here's Lion King again. Here's Lion King. Oh, sorry. No more Lion King. Here's the live action one, and you're not gonna get no more animated one. Haha. That could happen. That could happen. I've said this before, and probably other people have said it too. Disney's literally remaking these live action movies so they can replace the animated ones. Most people be like, but the animated ones are there. Yes, they are. But for how long? For how long? They might be there now, they might be there tomorrow, they might be there for next year. But for how long? To the point that Disney's like, you want to watch those? You gotta pay some extra dough. You want to see the old school Mickey Mouse shirts or Oswald shirts? Pay some extra dough. Pay for some extra dough. And it's kind of funny too, because a lot of these streaming services like Disney are literally saying that this streaming stuff is not working. We're not making money. When all this stuff is not coming back. So what's going to happen with Netflix and Paramount? You know? I used to have Paramount Plus, but it was so slow, so glitchy, and it was just terrible, so I got out of it. I literally canceled my subscription. And to be honest, I don't think I did. I probably am still paying for it and not know it. But I haven't touched that shit in years. In years. just because it was that bad. Because they decided to act like it was a fucking phone app. You're not a phone app. You're a streaming service. Fucking dumbass. You know? So, it's just something that grinds my gears. Because at the end of the day, we all know this was going to happen eventually. We all knew. You know, some people thought it was going to happen more down the line than now. Other people were suspecting it once Disney did their Disney Plus shit. So there's people that saw the writing on the wall a long time ago, and there's other people that were like, that won't happen until like 30 to 20 or 50 years from now, right? No, that shit's happening right now. And I don't even want to talk about what's happening to the planet, because that all sinks in. And remember, they're all reacting. How you see how it's glitching out? See, every time I'm talking about the truth here, it's all glitching out. You see that? Pay attention to that crap. It's on my phone. This is a brand new phone. It should not be glitching out like that. Oh, maybe it's just your internet. No, my internet's pretty fast. And it's a 5G phone, so you fucking tell me. When everything's all fine and dandy, but it still fucking glitches like a motherfucker. So you tell me. So anyways, all these companies, especially the video game companies, are reacting to what's happening to the planet right now. And I've talked about this in this channel for such a long time now. So many times. Because there's people out here that still don't get it. That's why I said, look at YouTube. It was like Mr. MBB33 and Dabu77. Look at their videos. You will know what the fuck I'm talking about. And then when you see those videos, you're going to be like, you telling me the American bubble is about to pop? Yep. It's about to pop. Like it's it. And these companies know it. What do you think they want to? What do you think in WWE? I think WWE is playing. In my opinion, I think WWE is doing this on purpose of bad booking, bad storytelling, and all that, so they can sell again to Saudis. Everybody, have you noticed that all of these companies want to start selling to the Saudi Arabia people? So what's that going to happen for the gaming industry and the movie industry? Now it has to come to the consumer to make that stuff. Because we don't live in the Saudi Arabia here in America. This is what we call Turtle Island. We don't live in the other side of the world. So we're going to make our own content, you know? And if the Saudis see our own content, like on YouTube, or us trying to promote our own content, and they want a piece of it, it's like, get in line. I'm not going to sell out for blood money just because you saw a product that you want to kill because you don't like it or you didn't make it. Sorry. And trust me, that's already happening. It's been happening for quite a while under our noses, but it still happens every time we get a whiff of it and we're like, what the fuck is that crap? You know? So don't be surprised if YouTube gets affected with this shit. Because already YouTube is getting infected already. There's already like kids from 16 and under can't be on social media. They're taking that out. So if you have a kid that's 16 years old and has a phone, guess what? They can't go to no Facebook, no Twitter, no nothing. No Rumble, no YouTube, which in my opinion is a good thing. Because all these apps, all these streaming services, all the YouTube and shit like that should be fucking for adults, not kids. Yeah, you need to be 21 and older to watch all of this shit. Oh, but what about YouTube Kids? I mean, that's going to stay, most likely. You know? Kids' content is not going to go away. It never has. Even during the Depression era, it never got away. You know? So it's always there. It's never going to go away. You know? Because even corrupt motherfuckers need to understand that there's an audience out there that they might not like, but they still need to cater to, because money is money, right? Don't you want to grab any money possible from different regions? You know? I mean, it would be a smart business decision to literally be like, no, I'm not going to stick to one little side just because, oh, I'm the left side, I'm the right side, I'm going to grab everybody. You know? Because that would be a smart marketing business move. Because you're trying to make the most money possible, right? So why are you just going to stick to left or right instead of meeting everyone in the middle and literally everyone comes to you and give you the money? Instead of going on one side and you're not making that money mainly because you're ignoring one side of the audience that probably wants your stuff, but you're not paying attention to them because you think they're crap or something like that, or you just don't care for them, and then they're just going to move on. WWE. I still think WWE is being shit on purpose just to sell to Saudi. I'm sorry, guys. That's just the way I see things. I could be gone. But to be quite honest, why is WWE so bad? Most people be like, oh, it's been bad for years. Not like this. Let's be honest with ourselves. I'd rather take Triple H's reign of terror. I'd rather take John Cena's reign of terror than this shit. I'm dead serious. Seriously. Because the state of WWE now has been the most horrific thing that has ever been. It's the most lackluster shit that has ever been in WWE history. So when they do sell it to the Saudis, because we already know that, it's funny that we are saying this because we know how WWE is. And when stuff was sold to the Saudis, like video games, movies, and stuff like WWE, good luck getting creative stuff, women that are main characters. Let's go back to women being in damsel in distress, which, again, I don't mind. But you still need to give them character, you know? Look at Princess Peach. She's been a damsel in distress all her life. But yet she still has character. You know? And sometimes she's not even, and sometimes she fights back anyways. You know? Remember the whole thing with the Super Mario Brothers movie that, the people that created the Minions literally wanted Princess Peach to literally be that person to say, screw Mario, I'm that girl, and I don't need a man, basically like that. Nintendo literally stomped their foot down. They were like, fuck you. Sometimes you gotta give the flowers to Nintendo, because sometimes it's like, yeah, that's what I suspected from them. Because you're not gonna fuck their characters up. You're not. There's a reason why Disney's so protective of Mickey Mouse and all of them. You know? So, for crying out loud, they're treating Spider-Man like Mickey Mouse. They literally, like, remember that part when a kid died and he was a big fan of Spider-Man, the dad wanted to get a tombstone of Spider-Man for his son and stuff like that? Then Disney came on and they were like, nope, copyright. That's all character. Literally suing or going after the man that just lost his son, wanted to make a beautiful tombstone for his son because he was a big fan of Spider-Man, and Disney just came right after him. You can't do that. That's all character. We will sue you. You see? So there's just a lot of shit with this stuff, guys. It has layers. Layers like onions. Like Shrek. Ogres have layers. You know, I really don't like onions. Cake. Everybody loves cake. I don't care what you like. I don't care what everyone likes. That is such a great scene, and it holds up still to this day. You know why? Because you can use that for any company shit that's acting this way. You know? So, anything else I could talk about? Oh yeah, I was gonna play this video here. So let's play this before I end this video.
A corporation owns every single thing on Earth. I literally just did Alien Earth episodes that explores a near-term future where mega corporations basically take over the entire planet, dividing it up, including ruling over governments. So there's a belief that the government could be involved to block any buyout that they don't like, either over antitrust concerns or even more petty reasons. The government doesn't need a reason to give you problems. Either way, a blocked merger is a blocked merger no matter how they arrive at that, meaning nobody could wind up buying Warner Brothers, which I think a lot of people would also prefer, because the Warner Brothers company this past year was more profitable than ever, so a lot of people were confused about why they would suddenly want to cannibalize themselves and sell off to the highest bidder if they didn't need to. Here's where we get to the different plans and what would happen to DC, the Game of Thrones prequels, and so on in all these different scenarios. Netflix claimed that they weren't going to change any of the leadership at Warner Brothers. James Gunn, Peter Safran would say they literally just renewed their contracts through 2027, so whoever winds up buying the company will still have to honor their contracts through 2027. They would get to continue their existing plan for the DCU movies and TV shows, so no changes long-term to DC. Same thing with the Game of Thrones prequels, HBO, all their other franchises. HBO is also making the Harry Potter TV series too. It's not till around 2030 that's when the theatrical windows would start changing. They start getting shorter and shorter, and also Netflix would roll up the HBO Max app into the Netflix app. Paramount's different plan then was to say that they would never change movie theatrical windows at any point, even in like 10 years. James Gunn, Peter Safran would still stay on and run DC movies and TV shows, but it sounds like the Saudis in particular would start putting more pressure on them to release bigger A-list projects and fewer risks.
That little miniature human being.
Meaning, keep pushing your old stuff and keep doing sequels and prequels to them, but never do new IPs. It sounds familiar when if you're a video gamer, right? Look at the shit that Square Enix is doing. Perfect example right there. I'm telling you, man, every company is going to end up like Square Enix right now. And it's already happening. Okay? This is why Expedition 33 is a bona fide classic for people. Games like Expedition 33. I'm just using that game as an example. Because these type of products is what's going to thrive in the future. And they want a piece of that pie. They might not think, in the beginning, they might not want that piece of pie. Because they have all of this stuff. But then they see how much pie we're getting. And they're like, no, you can't make trillions and billions on a movie you just put on YouTube. No, we don't want that. Yo, YouTube. Trust me, I'm telling you guys, it's going to be an all-out war soon. All right? It is. It's going to be an all-out war when it comes to content. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Because this has been happening. This has been, to be quite honest, I'll be honest with you. This has been building up ever since you had these Hollywood fucking people in Google merged with fucking YouTube. This has been brewing up, guys. It took time to see it. Some of us didn't see it. Some of us were like, some of us probably did point it out. But now look at it. It's over, man. It's over. It's over. It's over. You know, yeah, at first I wanted Paramount to get Warner Brothers. Now, I really don't care anymore. I don't. So what do you guys think down below? Are you excited for some of the stuff that I'm talking about? Are you excited with some of this, the stuff that I was mentioning? Do you agree with some of the stuff that I mentioned, or do you disagree of some of the things that I mentioned? Or do you have another perspective of the things with Paramount and Netflix and the whole other companies like WWE, Saudi, Square Enix, all these other stuff, all these other forms of medias? Because, guys, to be quite honest with you, Netflix or Paramount, if they buy Warner Brothers, that's also their video games. Hope you know that. Right? That means Netflix will own the Batman Arkham series if they win. Same thing with Paramount. Think about that. Okay? And the thing is, too, Netflix does have video games. but I don't play them. I don't know how they are. I don't know if you have to pay for it to even play them, which is stupid because you're already paying a subscription, so might as well play these games for free. Stupid concept. Right? And there's another thing that people point out too, that if this happens either way, we still get fucked at the end, mainly because they're going to raise those prices up. And already people are pissed off about those prices are being raised. So either a couple of things will happen. Either everyone in the whole world will suck their dick and fucking bite the bullet and do it, or fight. And be like, fuck that shit, I'm not paying for it. And guess what? This is what it's doing. This is what we're doing now. You see? You see how that worked? We are doing this now. Okay? And a lot of these companies are not going to see our value. So what's going to happen when they don't have a whole bunch of people buying their shit? What, they just going to sell it to everyone at Saudi Arabia? Or just the people in the United States that are rich? They're going to buy that stuff? That's not majority of the whole population of the planet. I'm sorry. If majority of people, the peasants, basically, of the United States, don't buy none of this shit because it's too expensive to the point that only celebrities can go here or rich people can go here, so what's the point? What's the point? It's just forms of medias for rich people, and we're not invited. It looks like Hollywood will die, but Hollywood is going to spread all over this planet. The corruptness, the atrocities. Not to say it's not happening already. To be quite honest, it's been happening for years. Look at Toho. Every time they make a movie, what they do, they look at the states. That we look at a good example is Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. I love that movie to death, but it has plot holes like fucking Swiss cheese. And I love that Godzilla movie to death. It's one of my best Godzilla movies of all time for me. But that plot, it has such Swiss cheese and has plot holes like Swiss cheese like a motherfucker. But that movie would not be made with the whole time traveling stuff if we didn't get Back to the Future. You see? It's almost like none of these companies don't have creativity or don't have a thought of creativity. But once they see, it's almost like, oh, we're going to wait for America to do something. Oh, they did it? Okay, now we could do something. Since when did that happen? Did it happen after World War II? World War I? Which one? Which one? When did it happen? You know? Because I could probably look back at my childhood, but I'd be like, no, it's the same shit. It was the same shit all the time. The only difference is that we had good products. And I want to mention this too. I know a lot of people got upset with the whole Netflix and Warner Brothers stuff, and also the Paramount stuff. But remember one time when Warner Bros. Got sold a long time ago, and yes, it was kind of I think WCW went out of business. It was around that time. But after that, guess what we got? We got good content from Cartoon Network, and then Nickelodeon from Paramount had a man up. Had a man up and start making great content to compete with Cartoon Network, with Warner Brothers. All right? So, who knows, man? Could history repeat itself? It has, if you pay attention. So, especially if you look at stuff before the mud flood. Because yes, there was life in civilizations before the mud flood. By the way, the mud flood happened in the 1800s. Don't make you think that it happened during Jesus and shit like that. No. Before Christ and shit. No. That's how they tricked you. That's why you need to do your fucking history. There was a mud flood that happened in the 1800s. Then after that, there was the orphan train. Look up the orphan train. Okay? Because the orphan train is the same decade where Vince McMahon's grandfather was around. He was a baby when that shit happened. And if it wasn't him, it was his parents. Before Vince McMahon's dad was born and before Vince was born. So that's something to think about, guys. Seriously, I'm throwing it all out on the table here. It's 2025. I have to. This is it. This is totally it. Okay? And December's not over yet. Alright? Because there's people around the internet that are paying attention to the winter solstice and paying attention to other stuff that's happening around us. And they know what's going to happen soon. For crying out loud, there's a reason why the sky was changing. All colors and shit like that. Alright? Don't be like, oh yeah, that was fun. Now let's move on. Are you kidding me? That was a fucking sign. Alright? You don't get shit like that for no reason. The reason it was like that is because the sun is increasing its vibration. That's why you see the Aurora Borealis everywhere all over this planet. When it should have been in Antarctica, in the South Pole, North Pole. You know? But now, all of a sudden, people see in Chicago, New York, Florida. You know? You see? Something is happening. And they all know it. See you guys. Be safe. Take care of yourselves. And literally, do your research and keep on growing. Seriously. And some of this stuff that I'm looking at right here is just a cause of what's happening. What's going to happen very soon. Alright? This is not conspiracy and all of that shit. I'm literally just pointing it out on a silver platter. If you guys been paying attention of some of the stuff that's happening. I don't get these people that are on social media all the time and they don't see that shit. I'm barely on social media sometimes and I still see that shit. I'm not going to bury my head in the sand. Because if you bury your head in the sand, it's going to be very painful for you. It's almost like if you don't learn your history, you're going to doom to repeat it. You know? And that's why these streaming services need to pay attention to. These companies like Warner Brothers, Paramount, Netflix, Disney, they need to pay attention to that shit. Because if they don't care, then guess what? They're just going to be the relics of the past. When they're a relic of the past, no one's not going to give a shit about them. Netflix who? Disney who? Do you want that? Do you want that? And I'm not talking to the consumer. I'm talking about the people that are making these products. Do you care about that? You might say, oh, I don't care about that. But then all of a sudden you lose your little yacht. Then you will care, right? You lose your $1 trillion home. Then you care. No, it's already too late. At that point, it will be too late. And us consumers are just going to laugh at your ass and be like, we told you so. You just didn't care. So why should we care?